Blessings. Today we bring you 15 challenging questions to test your knowledge of God's Word. Before we begin, subscribe and share to spread the wisdom of the Scriptures. Are you ready? Let's begin. Question 1. Why did Job offer a burnt offering for his children? A. Because the Lord had commanded it. B. In case they had sinned. C. To cleanse them before the Lord. D. To purify their hearts. Time to think. And the correct answer is, in case they had sinned. Job, chapter 1, verse 5 says, For Job said, It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. Question 2. What does Satan say Job will do if God strikes everything he has? A. He will become wicked. B. He will give up his integrity. C. He will curse God to his face. D. He will prefer darkness over light. Time to think. And the correct answer is, he will curse God to his face. Job, chapter 1, verse 11 says, But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. Question 3. How many sheep did Job originally have? A. 1,000. B. 7,000. C. 10,000. D. 12,000. Time to think. And the correct answer is 7,000. Job, chapter 1, verse 3 says, His substance also was 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East. Question 4. Who did the Lord ask Satan if he had considered? A. My king Job. B. My spokesman Job. C. My servant Job. D. My friend Job. Time to think. And the correct answer is, my servant Job. Job, chapter 1, verse 8 says, And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God, and escheweth evil? Question 5. What was the first disaster announced to Job? A. The death of his children. B. The Chaldeans making off with his camels. C. The Sabaeans attacking Job's oxen and donkeys. D. The fire of God burning his sheep. Time to think. And the correct answer is, the Sabaeans attacking Job's oxen and donkeys. Job, chapter 1, verses 14 to 15 say, And there came a messenger unto Job, and said, The oxen were plowing, and the asses feeding beside them. And the Sabaeans fell upon them, and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Question 6. What did God ask Satan when he presented himself before the Lord? A. Why have you come here? B. How long must I allow you to come here? C. Where have you come from? D. How did you get in here? Time to think. And the correct answer is, where have you come from? Job, chapter 1, verse 7 says, And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord, and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Question 7. What land was Job from? A. The land of Moab. B. The land of Kikar. C. The land of Uzi. D. The land of Gomer. Time to think. And the correct answer is the land of Uzi. Job, chapter 1, verse 1 says, There was a man in the land of Uzi, whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. Question 8. What does Satan say God has done for Job? A. Given him prosperity. B. Put a hedge around him. C. Trusted him above all others. D. Taught Job wisdom. Time to think. And the correct answer is, put a hedge around him. Job, chapter 1, verse 10 says, Hast not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. Question 9. What arrangements would Job make for his children after their feasting had ended? A. For them to pray. B. For them to fast. C. For them to be purified. D. For them to sacrifice. Time to think. And the correct answer is, for them to be purified. Job, chapter 1, verse 5 says, And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. Question 10. How does Satan respond to the Lord's comments about Job? A. Does Job fear God for nothing? B. Is Job truly righteous? C. Is Job as blameless as many think? D. Is Job more godly than his friends? Time to think. And the correct answer is, does Job fear God for nothing? Job, chapter 1, verse 9 says, Then Satan answered the Lord, and said, Doth Job fear God for naught? Question 11. What were Job's children doing at the oldest brother's house? A. Cursing God. B. Mocking the heavens. C. Feasting and drinking wine. D. Dancing and reveling. Time to think. And the correct answer is feasting and drinking wine. Job, chapter 1, verse 13 says, And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. Question 12. How many sons did Job originally have? A. 5. B. 7. C. 10. D. 12. Time to think. And the correct answer is 7. Job, chapter 1, verse 2 says, And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. Question 13. In the heavenly scene, who presented themselves before the Lord? A. The angels. B. The heavenly hosts. C. The cherubim. D. The seraphim. Time to think. And the correct answer is the angels. Job, chapter 1, verse 6 says, Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Question 14. What initial boundary did God put on Satan's attack on Job? A. Not to lay a finger on Job himself. B. Not to touch Job's wife. C. Not to take away his integrity. D. Not to harm his children. Time to think. And the correct answer is not to lay a finger on Job himself. Job, chapter 1, verse 12 says, And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. Question 15. Who would Job's sons invite to eat and drink with them on their birthdays? A. Their sisters. B. The whole town. C. Job's household. D. The whole region of Uzi. Time to think. And the correct answer is their sisters. Job, chapter 1, verse 4 says, And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. Blessings. Today you will hear 14 Bible characters speaking in the first person, and your mission is to discover who they are. Before we begin, subscribe and share to help us spread the wisdom of the Scriptures. Are you ready? Let's begin.